Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is William Austin. It is March the ninth, a Thursday, and we hope that you are well. It is only, 63 degrees outside, sunny. It's going to be a beautiful day. We're looking forward to a fantastic day. I hope that you are doing well. Today, there's more January 6th talk today. Sorry. It's one of those things that we have to talk about uh, because there's so much packed in, packed in to all of that we got to get to it all, or as much of it as we can. All right, we're gonna take a little break. We're back with more of the morning report. The morning report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, and fightbackmediatv.com. We'll be back right after these messages. So, is it okay now? Because it was, I mean, during the Trump administration, it is okay to talk about the president's.
Yeah, we talked about mental health elderly, so let's talk about this guy mental health.
The president's mental acuity, because there's sometimes where it seems to be lacking. Have you seen?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's especially bad. I mean, I'm talking about sometimes it's like really bad. Like, have you seen the picture?
I was told not to take any questions.
I was told not to take any questions. They told they're going to be mad at me.
They're going to be mad at me.
Mr.
President, are you the president, or were you five?
You see what I want. See, the next question is, excuse me,
I was told to call on what you call for NBC. Who's telling you to call on?
That's the question that we ought to be asking. Who's telling you this?
I mean, I don't understand why nobody won't ask that question.
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Who's telling you to call on these people in the media?
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Probably so.
Well, good morning. We have said on the Morning Report and Fight Back Media more than one time that it is the narrative that pushes everything. In my interview with Andrew Breitbart, he told me that those that can drive the narrative will control everything. Man, Andrew, we miss you. We could use some Andrew Breitbart around here today, that's for sure. And he was right, absolutely correct. Now, I'm not one of those people who can go. I work with Andrew, and he inspired me. I didn't work with Andrew. I interviewed him once and met him again. A couple of years later, and read his stuff and watched his videos like everybody else. But he had a profound effect on me and how I viewed a lot of these things that were happening. And it's about the narrative. Right now, Tucker Carlson on Fox News. Now, I got to say this. I'm not watching Fox News. I'm not boycotting Fox News. I just don't. I'm busy. I'm a guy who works 6 days a week at regular jobs. I teach saxophone and flute 4 days a week, and I work in an amusement park the other 2 more days. So that's 6 out of 7. I try to get my fat butt up and go to church on Sunday. There's my life. All right. So I don't come home and plop down in front of the TV and watch Fox News. Don't do it. Or MSNBC or CNN or any of that stuff either. I learned from my friend Kevin Batch, read your news from sources that you can find credible, because the flashing of television news and how it's done is not always good for you. Anyway, Tucker Carlson is locked in shredding the nonsense surrounding the January 6th riot, which has been sold to the public as a violent insurrection. And they kept using these words, violent insurrection. The hyperbole knows no bounds. As others have said, that some said it was worse than Pearl Harbor. Trump supporters kill Capitol police officers. No, people took that seriously. No, that it didn't happen. It's all a lie. The only person that was killed that day was Ashley Babbitt. And it's also a lie that those arrested, indicted, and convicted are domestic terrorists. Now, we're not talking about the people who physically attacked a police officer. You know, if you punch a cop, you're just going to get whatever is coming to you. That's how it is. But people like Jacob Chansley, the idiot QAnon shaman, that moron, or decidedly not domestic terrorists. We saw a video of him being led around by Capitol Police, just walking around being stupid. That dude got 4 years. He got 4 years in jail for walking around, literally just walking around, being led around, escorted, one could say, by Capitol Police officers. Most rapists and other violent criminals don't get nearly as much jail time nowadays. And in some places, some of these violent criminals don't get any jail time. This guy got 4 years. Now, I'm not a fan. I'm not QAnon. I'm not. I'm not. And the dude with the stupid horns, that was just dumb. 4 years though? Carlson added that Chansley's lawyers didn't have access to the tape that he was this guy was being charged with. They didn't have access to the video. So it was like the government really didn't have to prove their case. They just charged the guy and rammed his ass through. Benny Thompson didn't even, and we're going to talk about this, as admitted that he didn't even review the footage before he started the TV show where they were having the hearings on television. He admitted that he didn't even. He says this is what Thompson says. I'm actually not aware of any member of the committee who had access to the footage. We had a team of employees who kind of went through the video, he said. Kind of went through the video. So they had some, I don't know, interns, I don't know, sort of go through the video. Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. Wait, this is terrible. This is terrible. These people should go to jail. This is terrible. Go through the footage. And so Pelosi said, put him on TV. Put him on TV. At the very least, this is incompetence. At the very least. It's worse than that, really. But Democrats went a long way with it anyway. They went along with it anyway. Because it was about the narrative. It was about the narrative and keeping Trump away. It was all about that. Because they knew it would get all political cover from the media, and it did. The lies were manufactured and sold, and even members of our judicial system believed it. Tucker has over 41,000 plus hours of security footage and was able to shred to numerous liberal media narratives about January 6th in about a week. No staffer looked through the tapes. If they did, they'd find a sculptory evidence. So they didn't look through. If you have 41,000 hours of video, frankly, it should take weeks or months and a team of people to create a timeline and narrative as to what happened. Obviously, with that many people in that many places, there was all sorts of stuff going on. Like we said before, if you punched a Capitol Police officer, if you accosted police officer anyway, and then you got busted and arrested and put in jail. Yeah, okay. If you were let and then led in by a Capitol Guard, come on in and ask, please don't break anything. And you walked inside the velvet ropes with your phone. Yeah, that's not the same as trespassing. Trespassing if you get let in. You see the difference? If I let you in, if I tell you to come into my yard, come on, I'm the owner of the house. Come on up. And then I go, you're trespassing on my property. No. First of all, in the Capitol, that's public property. At the very least, it's public property, right? Not sure how American citizens can trespass on public property. Somebody smarter than me, which is you explain to me in the comments how an American citizen can be trespassing on public property. I'm not really sure how that works, but okay. If you explain it to me, then I'll know. So if we have 41,000 hours, it would seem like the committee was going to ensnare Donald Trump and be the vehicle to drive home the Democrats' 2022 message about GOP extremism. Except that no one cared by this time, and the Circus Act was gavelled in the session. The economy was tanking. Eggs are $18, $18, a dozen. Okay, I'm exaggerating, obviously. Russia had invaded Ukraine. Everyone had moved on with their lives. Nothing criminal was ever discovered that warranted a DOJ indictment. It was a total waste of time. And now, and now has a new layer of malfeasance crap to go with it. We're learning and we're finding out. What we're finding out is that a lot of people were right. A lot of people that got a lot of abuse. And no, I'm not talking about me, but there were a lot of people who were right. A lot of people. And they are being proven every day by pulling back the layers of BS. They were correct. And they're not going to get apologize. They're not going to get apologies. Um, they're not going to be. They're not going to be recompensed because their social media accounts got banned, deplatformed, demonetized. They're not going to get compensated. They're not. They're not. Again, they're not even going to get an apology. Some of them are still waiting to get their social media accounts restored. My friend Chris Ann Hall is still waiting to get her Twitter account reinstated. And with all the hullabaloo that Elon Musk is talking about, it's still not been reinstated. Still. Folks, when you hear the first narrative of any situation, especially on the national level, my only advice is to take a breath, take a beat, and wait, because the truth will come out. Before you react or get emotionally upset about anything, just wait. Take a breath, take a beat, and wait for the real story to come out. You can always find the real story right here on Morning Report fightbackmedia.com. We'll be right back. Well, hey everybody, my name is Willie Lawson, and you guys know that I do a lot of stuff on the internet. And you may think with what's happening on Twitter and what's happening on Facebook and what happened to Parler that the mainstream social media sources are really trying to rid themselves of conservative voices. And you'd be right. They most certainly are. But you know what? It isn't as bad as you think it is. It's worse. But there are people who are willing to be platformed for free speech. One of those places is freedomforum.website. Freedomforum.website. You can go there and speak your mind. So come join us. Enjoy the freedom. Enjoy the fun. If you are a true blue conservative, small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or a phone number. My florist is Blooming Days Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop. At 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com. One of the things that I get asked most is where can I get information that is not tainted with liberal bias, especially here in the Tampa Bay area. Well, now I have the answer. tbctampa.com, a website by and for Tampa area conservatives. Tampa's leading conservative voices speak freely at tbctampa.com. And you can too. So join the fun and enjoy the freedom at tbctampa.com. My name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report. All right. We're going to insert this story in because I think it's important in how we approach things and how things probably should be. Yeah, and this is, again, all my opinion because, whatever. The story has come out that Fox News host Tucker Carlson, I know I'm talking about Tucker still, somebody I've never seen the show, by the way, never. I don't really see anytime soon that I'll be watching Tucker Carlson on Fox News. I've never seen it. But apparently he has found out that he sent a series of private text messages to his colleagues regarding his relationship with former President Donald Trump, which was released by Dominion Voting Systems as part of his defamation suit against the network. According to a January 4th, 2021 text message, Carlson revealed that he has strong dislike towards Trump. The text reads, "I hate him passionately." A text sent by Carlson to a colleague read, "What he's good at is destroying things. He is the undisputed world champion at that. He could easily destroy us if we play it wrong." So 2 days before the the January 6th protest, Carlson wrote that he was very close to being done having to talk about the president on air. We're very, very close to being able to ignore Trump most nights. I truly can't wait. The Fox News host has spent much of his time defending Trump against Democrats and liberal media, such as his ties to Russian collusion, participating in protests, storming the Capitol, all false allegations. Now, stop right there. Tucker Carlson doesn't have to like Donald Trump. Now, I know that a bunch of Trumpers are going to be like, "Hey, Carlson, boycott Tucker Carlson. He's a liberal. He's a progressive." He doesn't have to like him. Doesn't have to. He has to be honest. He has to be honest in his, thought that, there weren't ties to Russian collusion. And Tucker Carlson needed to say so. It didn't matter how he felt about Trump. Personal. Didn't matter. Just like this this January 6th thing, as much as it is about Trump, it really isn't, because Trump has not been damaged. He's not spent any time in jail. He's not going to be indicted over it. But there are people who have spent a year in jail who are being damaged. That's what it's about. So it doesn't matter how Tucker Carlson feels about Donald Trump. And I don't know if this is true, but it's sort of smelling that way to me. If Tucker Carlson is going to be a stand-up dude and say, "Hey, no, I don't like this guy, but what's happening here is wrong. What's happening here is incorrect." So he's also praised Trump accomplishments such as his efforts to secure the border. So behind the scenes, he's like, "Yeah, I don't like that guy." What difference does it make? This is something that we have to start understanding. And I've said this before. When we were involved in the Tea Party movement, y'all remember the Tea Party movement, right? A bunch of amateurs got involved in the process. Some of the amateurs were able to get platforms and gain influence. And they were as led around as much with their emotions as any snowflake liberal, be honest with you. As much as any snowflake liberal. I mean, the whole "you with us or against us" mentality is prevalent. So the idea that, hey, guess what? We're going to talk about policy here and not personality. We're not going to deal with, excuse me, let me move that, the politics of personality. We're going to talk about policy here. I could defend you on a policy level and not really like you all that much as a person. Trump, not really for most people a likable dude. Not. But if you do something right, I mean, the only honorable thing is to go, yeah, but I like this. So people would ask me back in 2008. I was doing a show on Blog Talk Radio, just the audio, which is probably smarter because I have a face for radio, um, and a body style for it too. Um, why don't you like Obama? And I was like, and my standard answer was, I don't dislike Barack Obama. I don't know Barack Obama to like him or dislike him. I'm just not down with some of the things that he has said and what his approach is going to be. Now, that line did not endear me to people on the left. But you know what? I caught hell from people on the right. What do you mean what do you mean you don't dislike Barack Obama? Oh, it got worse because I would say, you know what? If I got invited by Barack Obama to the White House to watch March Madness, college basketball, which I think the guy knows a pretty decent amount about, and eat some of those White House snacks on that big ass TV, watching basketball, college basketball, I'd go. I'd be like, yeah, I would fly Spirit Airline. I would have flown Spirit Airline to DC to sit in the White House and watch basketball with Barack Obama. That drove my friends on the right nuts, bananas, because I could still disagree with policy because it's about policy, not personality. So many amateurs on both sides are led by their emotions. So when Tucker, this whole article in Town Hall, this whole article that Tucker doesn't like Trump. It's just because he doesn't like the dude Trump. Okay, doesn't have to. This hero worship. I got a comment in one of the videos talking about hero worship. Now, I think this is a new subscriber to the channel. Thank you. So all I said was thank you for your comments. Thank you for your input. But I've been talking about the dangers of hero worship for a long time on this channel. A long time. And there is danger of hero worship. We have to look at these figures, these national figures, especially political figures, based on policy. And that's it. Based on policy. If we like the way they look, if we like that, their demeanor and how they present things and how they explain things, if we like that, that's gravy. That's bonus. It's got to be policy. We started making this mistake as a country with say it with me, Nixon Kennedy. Nixon looked like hell on TV. He just gotten over the flu or something. They didn't, wouldn't wear makeup. The lighting was bad. Had a couple days growth of beard. Looked like hell. Kennedy, however, looked great. Looked great. Looked at the camera. Talked directly to the American people. Had all that spent down. Crushed Nixon. Because the American people started to look at it was more important what it looked like than what it actually was. And we unfortunately have been in that downward spiral at least since then. And that's not just, I mean, it's everybody. 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 Barack Obama versus Deputy Dog. Superman versus Deputy Dog. And I said that, and again, if you could go back and look at the archives that are on Ball Talk Radio, except they're gone, they finally deleted them. I would say forever that you had Barack Obama, who was this black Superman, tall, family from Central Casting. And then you've got this old, decrepit white dude, John McCain. John McCain is a war hero. Well, he's a war hero until he wasn't, right? Who admitted to have never sent an email. Yeah, it was over shortly after it started. I mean, in hindsight, it was over shortly after it started. He looks great. Look at Michelle. Look at those kids. You know what it reminds me of? Ron, you got it. Very good. Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis, tall, looks good. Wife, children, Central Casting. Right? Speaks well. Stays on point. Right? Very popular. Same kind of thing. Because that's what we want to see. Some of us just agree with his policies. People who Barack Obama just agreed with his policies, right? Most of the other supporters were and are hero worshippers. He's our hero. Obama, 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 right? DeSantis, 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 right? Yeah. Folks, it's got to be about policy. Got to be about policy, not about personality. So more and more people today will be on Twitter talking about boycott Tucker Carlson. He is a closet progressive. Fox News sucks. La, 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 la. Because these tweets came out, or these text messages came out that he doesn't really care for Trump all that much. Okay, it's okay as long as Carlson Tucker continues, or Tucker Carlson continues to present facts in the way that should be presented for the American people. I don't give a damn if he likes Trump or not, or DeSantis, or me. So is it okay now? Because it was, I mean, during the Trump administration, it is okay to talk about the president's.
Yeah, we talked about mental health heavily, so let's talk about this guy's mental health.
The president's mental acuity, because there's sometimes where it seems to be lacking. Have you seen?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes it's especially bad. I mean, I'm talking about sometimes it's like really bad. Like, have you seen the picture?
I was told not to take any questions.
I was told not to take any questions. They're going to be mad at me.
They're going to be mad at me.
Mr.
President, are you the president, or were you five?
You see what I want? See, the next question is, excuse me,
I was told to call on what you call for NBC. Who's telling you to call on?
That's the question that we ought to be asking. Who's telling you this?
I mean, I don't understand why nobody won't ask that question.
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Who's telling you to call on these people in the media?
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Probably so.
Well, we're doing it again in Florida. And I wonder why it's taken so long, because Republicans in the Florida House and Senate have filed a bill that will virtually ban all abortions across the state. We kind of knew that would be the idea after the Ohio heartbeat bill. The Texas heartbeat bill became the Ohio heartbeat bill, where the no matter what certain Tracy Abrams says, Stacey Abrams says that there's no such thing as a fetal heartbeat. Yeah, okay. It's just a noise that the machine makes to keep women in bondage. You remember that? Anyway, so filed by Fort Pierce Republican Senator Aaron Grawl, Senate Bill 300 would ban doctors from knowingly performing or inducing termination of pregnancy after the 6 weeks of gestation. The quote heartbeat bill would prohibit a woman from receiving an abortion right around the time the baby's heartbeat can first be detected, with the exception of saving the life of the mother, a fatal fetal abnormality in a pregnancy that has not progressed to the third trimester, and in the case of rape or incest before 15 weeks of pregnancy. Now, rape and incest have to be reported to law enforcement. There aren't many. There's almost no heartbeat bills that don't make exceptions for rape or incest or life of the mother. So the narrative, remember we just talked about narrative that will get out, that will simply say, yeah, Ron DeSantis wants women to die. No, we want you to stop murdering these children. And that's what it is. Florida already has a 15-week abortion ban that Governor Ron DeSantis signed into law last year. However, he signaled that he would support a 6-week limit on the procedure. We're pro-life, he says. I urge the legislature to work, produce good stuff, and we will sign. That's what I've always wanted to do. That's what he said. The 15-week ban made no exception for rape or incest, with DeSantis arguing that it was very reasonable. The Florida Supreme Court considering a legal challenge to the state's 15-week ban, arguing that it violates the Florida Constitution and Privacy Clause. I'm going to tell you now, y'all, it ain't going to happen. The Biden White House has condemned the 6-week proposal, saying that it was jeopardized access, not just in Florida, but across the South, where many states have already seen restrictions on abortion or outright bans. So the White House is saying that if Florida restricts their child murder, then other people in the South will have fewer places to go murder their children. The hell? Here's what they say: this ban would prevent not just the nearly 4 million Florida women of reproductive age from accessing abortion care after 6 weeks, but would also impact the 15 million women of reproductive age who live in states across the South. No, Florida doesn't want to become a place where you can come vacation and get your abortion. Florida doesn't want to become that place. Florida doesn't want to become California, where you can vacation, watch the water on the beach, just after you slaughtered your child. Florida doesn't want to become that. No. Any case, that's what's going on. My name is Willie Lawson. This is Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody. And for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. See you when we see you. Bye now.